What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be making a video on how to be uncollected in 2020. So this was requested by one of my best friends, Aryan, or you could call him Solaris or Shadow. So first of all, let me tell you what is uncollected. So uncollected is basically a title which you get when you finish this chapter. So as you guys can see, that is abrogation, and in this fight collector would fight you, and this is one of the fights in which most of the people use their units a lot, because this guy is one heck of a, like, he's gonna waste your units real bad. So I'm gonna divide this video into two parts. So first part, let's get started with selecting the right champions. So basically you would need champions who are the best to finish this kind of content. And in act 5 you're gonna be like, when you fight champions, you're gonna know something known as nodes. So these nodes basically apply to literally to a champion who you're fighting against. So that is one of the nodes called Bane. Let me just tell you what it is. So Bane, let me just show you. I'll just go to a random quest. Well, this in this quest is where there's Bane. So I'm not fighting anyone right now. I'm just gonna show you the nodes and the perfect champions to choose. So this is called Bane. It's basically called a node, and it's called a global node, meaning it applies for everybody in that quest. So that is called a global node. And there's another thing called local node, in which like it's a node for a particular row or something, or a set of champions in a row who has the same amount of nodes. And there is something called linked node. You're gonna find champions who are gonna be covered with this kind of purplish kind of thing, and this is called a link node. Now this is something which is a node. You can remove any of these nodes if you just kill the champions who are uh, sending the node to that champion. Now here you can see it's incoming. So if I go to Modo and I see outgoing, he is giving this node to Daredevil. So if I take Modo down, this node called Rolling Thunder is going to be removed. Now I hope I cleared your doubts on linked, local and global nodes. Now understanding each node. So, and the info about the node would be given here. So Bane, like, when you hit the opponent, there's gonna be a timer in which he's gonna get some degen damage, and after that timer ends, it would be passed on to you. And if you hit, and during that time, if you hit the opponent again, the node would be passed back to him. But if he hits you, you will get the node if he's affected by it. I know it's pretty difficult to understand, but when you're playing the game, you'll automatically get it. So there is something called nodes, which comes even in act 4 as well as act 5. So you guys just need to understand a little bit of it, and then you will actually get an idea of it. Now then let's talk about champions. When you're progressing in the game, there are many counters. Right now, if you get a champion like Spider-Gwen, she is very useful for Act 5. Well, I'm gonna use her for fighting the Collector. She's one of the best champions for fighting the Collector. So there are perfect champs for each kind of nodes. Like, you could find literally a lot of videos on it, and that is what makes it awesome. So just give me a moment. Oh man, this kind of happens every time. So let me just connect back. So basically, let's get back to the topic. So um, every champion has their own abilities, which, if it is a perfect counter for a node, then it's awesome. Now, if you guys are talking about, let's say, a node all or nothing, power drain champions such as Psylocke, Vision, even Guillotine 2099, and Doctor Doom, and a lot more champions, even Nebula, they are power drain champions. So all or nothing is basically a node in which the opponent would put the SP3, has a more chance of putting the SP3 rather than putting SP2 and SP1. So in that case, one of the best champions are like just as I said, power drain champions. They keep the enemies bar of power under 3. So this is how many, like, it's just for one node. Depending on the number of nodes and the number of hits each special, even the damage, it totally depends upon the champion. um, and also skills are really important for the game, which I'll be talking about in the next part. So obviously you need to choose the perfect champions who fills your needs, and if you hate a node or something, you can find a good champion and upgrade that champion to avoid the nodes annoying stuff. So there are many tutorials on how to even phase the node and finish it, but also there are many tier lists like C10's tier lists. So yep. So let me talk about the second part. This is much more important. Even if you have a trash champion, you would require this, and you can possibly even finish the quest with the trash champion, and that is skills. Now, now there are four things which is important. Wait a sec. Yeah, four things. And one, parry. Second, dexterity. Third, baiting special attacks. And fourth, intercepting. So, first, parrying. Parrying is one of the most important, the most important part of the game. It is literally required everywhere, and you can learn to parry in a bunch of tutorials. I prefer watching Dorky Dave, uh, as he teaches you the perfect tutorials. Now, intercepting is interrupting an opponent's attack basically. Like when he's dashing against you, you just dash a bit late, and literally his dash is interrupted. Now, this is called parrying, and you would learn it sooner while you're playing the game. It's really useful. And this is in let me just tell you intercepting. So intercepting, never intercept unless it's the end game, and this is intercepting. Well, he intercepted me now. So keep in mind that intercepting should not be used unless it's like an end game or you get killed in a single hit. And the next thing is called dexterity. Now dexterity is basically dodging your opponent's attack when you literally dash back. It depends on every opponent's special. Now he just puts that kind of attack on me, and if I just like, it's called a mastery, parry and dexterity. You won't unlock it after you unlock it in your mastery. And also, baiting special attacks, you don't really need it until act 4. So it's basically like, you should not let your opponent reach SP3. So after act 4, you're gonna find that that would be a global node called special 3 is activated. What does that mean, you may ask? Now in quests without that node, basically even if you push them to SP3, they're gonna put their SP2, and you can't do. You can only put SP3, SP2, SP1. But if the opponent has that node, well, after he reaches his SP3, it's going to be hell of annoying, because you can probably dodge the special 2, you can dodge the special 1, you can block the special 1, you could block the special 2, but SP3, it's gonna be a lot of damage and no block, no dodge, because it's like a 3D animation, and what you pretty much do is get hit. Well, it kind of depends, like, on the champion. If let's say you're using Luke Cage, he has an indestructible buff, which is like for some seconds. So at that point, if the opponent puts a special attack, well, he is not gonna get any damage. So baiting special attacks is is actually plays a very important role. I've messed up a lot while beating special attacks, so let me show you how to beat special attacks. Now usually everybody uses only one method, and that is called the backbone. And the backbone is basically like it's from from Dr. Degrees Dave's video on how to build special attacks, and that is basically um, used as a method in case. Okay, let's fight Corvus. Okay, we're gonna fight him, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm doing. So first, that is also called pushing to the opponent's special attack. If he's often putting the same special attack, there are some ways in which you cannot let him put the special attack, and that is just awesome. So let's say I'm playing against him. Just a second, I'll be right back. So as I said, what you have to do is literally when let's say he's about to reach his special 3, and if he reaches it, we are pretty much dead. So let's say he's at this bar of power. I need to just dodge like this, use dexterity, and that's how he puts his special 2. Now let's say I'm not doing all that, I'm just keep on attacking him, it just go to his special 3 without any kind of. Now as you guys can see, it's sometimes you don't even have to do it, but sometimes the opponent would just want to wait till he puts a special 3. At that time you would want the AI to think that, well, please put your special, please. Well, that is a very efficient way, to be honest. Now let's say, okay, now let's say, okay, thank god he waited. Okay, so now let's say he's about to put a special. Now obviously I'm gonna lose in this matchup. So as you guys can see, I was not attacking him. That is basically it. That is actually the real way of what happens when you're doing the baiting. You should just not hit him. Maybe hit his block, or maybe just dodge back. Just don't get near him. And also the opponent could be sometimes really tricky. Sometimes he could put the special when you really do not want it to be. And as you guys can see, I just did an intercept, and because I'm low on health, and I get killed because at the end moment the AI gets intelligent. So that is basically how you guys can improve your skills. First, learn how to parry, learn how to use dexterity, and learn intercepting if you are a person who always has a clutch at the end, because that helps you in clutching more. But sometimes the AI could be tricky, like in Act 6. Sometimes the AI won't. Instead, when you're intercepting, the AI would intercept you with a light attack. So, but anyway, he can't do that because you're anyway interrupting his attack. But still, it totally depends on what you're doing. So let's go with intercepting now. Now, although this fight is kind of simple for me, as you guys can see, intercepting does not work every time, and you guys can see that I literally got hit right now. So that's why I use intercepting really carefully and don't go for it for the start of the games. So, and here I'm using dexterity, and also when he's dexterity does not only work for special, it also works for normal combos, and it's actually pretty useful. And you might be wondering, well, what is that critical thing on my side, what does that stand for? So after I evade an attack, the next attack is guaranteed to have increased damage. So that is what it means. And also the second thing has been explained now, I'm pretty sure, but waiting, I'll explain it further as it is kind of complicated. And same goes for intercepting. Now let me also tell you one of the extra tips that helps someone like uh, like for any kind of champion. Sometimes it also matters to look at the info of the champion. Now let's say I just upgraded somebody without even knowing their full capability, and then I get to know that champion is pretty trash. Well, then it's our bad, right? Because we need to know how a champion works, and we need to know the play style of the champion. Let's take a look at Havoc. So Havoc is immune to all forms of incinerate. Havoc's mutation gives him 2050 energy resistance. What does this mean, you may ask? Well, champions who has non-contact attacks, um, or you could say their attacks are not physical, um, to those champions he has energy resistance, meaning he has resistance to champions like Iron Man Infinity War, or you could say Iron Man, the regular Iron Man, or you could say Human Torch, you could say there are like many kind of champs like Doctor Strange. There's Symbiote Supreme, I guess. Well, I don't think so, but let me just tell you more about this. Havoc passively generates 2.5% of a bar of power each second, so he works really well in defense in alliance wars. Havoc gains 25% less power from landing and receiving hits. Well, that is the reason he generates 2.5% of a bar of power, and that's why he's a bit nerfed in gaining power by normally. Havoc reduces the opponent's critical damage rating by 50%. That is just crazy, bros. And Havoc's medium attacks, heavy attacks, and light combo ending attacks do not make contact deal energy damage. So when it comes to parrying, if I parry Havoc's attack, he wouldn't be stunned because he doesn't make any contact. Sorry. So that's how you can learn more about a champion, and plasma charges are pretty awesome of him. Havoc generates a plasma charge every 5 seconds and can have a maximum of 10 plasma charges. And that's pretty much how you just can look at the abilities. If I read it is going to take much more time. So the most effective way you can use Havoc is by using the special one, and when he has 10 plasma charges and 10 plasma buildups on the opponent, if he uses his special 3, the opponent is pretty much dead. Well, that is the reason why Havoc is one heck of a good champion, and you can take a look at the info of many other champions. And now let's take a meme champion. Okay, let's take Groot, because Groot is a meme. Just to explain you guys, wait a sec. Yep. So if the opponent you can literally see he has pretty much nothing. He just has like, when struck by critical hits, he's gonna get some pacifism charge, and he has a 10% to throw off his gentle nature, and passive Groot throws off his gentle nature against one fury one, and that increases the rating by 21.63. And this really doesn't make much of him a good champion, and he's a meme tire, well, that's for sure. So that's pretty much it. You need to just know the nodes, how to use a champion, the 4 abilities: parry, dexterity, intercepting, and baiting special attacks. Well, those are the 4 main ingredients to make yourself the uncollected titan. um, so let's talk about selecting the rating of the champion. Now, if you're a person who has just started with learning all these 4 abilities, I would say have some patience and then go for the story quests. Maybe you can go for uncollected with 5 maxed out 4-star champions. If you're a super talented guy, you can just go for a rank 4-star champions. And let's say you're just bad at MCOC, and then you have to go for a max 5-star or something. But then if you're kind of okay-ish, then a rank 4 5-star works best. So yep, it totally depends on which champion you're kind of using. So yeah, boys, so that is it for this video. Now let's say if I had only these many, okay, let's just take these 2 bars. Now who should I pick out of this for uncollected? Now so in this place, what I'll do first, let's say I have kind of a little bad skills, so first I'll watch some videos on how to parry, dexterity, intercept, and bait. And then what I do is pretty much just uh, like on my own opinions, I'll pick up a good champions. So according to me, Guillotine 2099, long shot, and I would pick wait a second, was Doom in this list? Okay, I'll pick up a Max Doom, and I would pick someone like She-Hulk, and then I would pick someone like Venom the Duck. So though, so these are champions I'm going to be I'll be using if I had that kind of champions. Now let's take a look at Solar's top 4 champions. I'd have his I have his ID actually, so let me just wait. And he has his account somewhere here, so let's take a look. And here he is, Solaris. So let's take a look at his champions. He has Ronin, Cable, Iceman, and Annihilus. To be honest, I'll take Iceman, I'll take Ronin, and I don't know about the other champs. I won't take Cable probably, and I won't take Annihilus because he's decent. He's very annoying as a defense, but not that good for attack. And same goes for Cable, because Cable, if you use bleeding champions against Cable, he's pretty much super duper a good counter. So that is it for this video, guys. So let me give you a recap of what you should do. Number one, look at the nodes, read the nodes, understand the nodes. Number two, learn the 4 mastering techniques which makes you a professional champion, and that is parry, dexterity, and intercepting and beating. But parry and dexterity is the first priority, and then learn intercepting and beating. And then obviously you would have to learn something else as well, right? And that is learning the info about the champions who you're using, and try to think like when you're using the champion against a specific node, will he work good or will he work bad. And then fourth, you gotta just upgrade your champs. Don't underestimate any kind of quest, because act 5 is a big step from act 4. So I hope you found this video helpful, and make sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.